Hey friends, it's Marie here again from Nicole Designs. I get to share with you about 6 new stencils from scrapbook.com. Now, these are 6 different unique background styles that you can use to make all kinds of cards, all kinds of backgrounds, and they're really fun. I want to show you some different techniques that you can do with stencils today. So here is the trees stencil. This one is Scallop, which really reminds me of maybe a mermaid kind of card. I think that one's really fun. Here is Snowflakes. I love all these pretty little snowflakes just to add to your Christmas or winter themed cards. There is this heart one, which is really fun. You can kind of stagger that one on your background and fill up your background with those heart patterns. There's Honeycomb and there is Herringbone. So I don't know if you do a lot of stenciling. I absolutely love stencils. There's a lot of different techniques and I'm not going to go over all of them today, but I'm going to show you a few of them that are easy and maybe even one or two that are a little bit more unique. So here is that scalloped one that I mentioned in the beginning. It kind of really makes me think of a mermaid. So I'm going to be grabbing a bunch of just kind of mermaid type colors today and just ink blending these on. So I'm using my scrapbook.com ink blending tool. And I am just applying this right over the stencil, kind of the same way you would if you're just ink blending right onto your paper. You want to kind of start off the side a little bit, ink blend on in little circular motions, and you can just keep applying ink and build up that color. Now, I also like to take different colors of ink and blend them together. So if you get blues and purples, those are going to blend together, and then you can blend them into other colors as well. So I'm going from purple to blue, and I'm actually going to blend this out to a light green on the top. So you can add multiple colors on your background, get lots of different fun, funky backgrounds. I think this one would really be fun if you blended everything on and then went back again with maybe some clear glitter paste or something, put that over the top, and you would have a really super sparkly background. I probably would have tried that, but I don't have any of that clear glitter paste, so I'm just going to show you what it looks like when you ink blend. Since I'm using distress inks, one thing I didn't do is you could go back and add splatters as well. You could do metallics or just plain water and get some more texture on there, and I think a water texture with this scallop stencil would be really fun. So there are so many more things that you can do with stencils that I'm not exactly showing you today, but the options are there and there's so many fun backgrounds you can create and lots of versatility. So like I mentioned, I'm just kind of gradually adding my different colors, blending them together. So I'm actually going from a purple on bottom through some blues up to a green and getting a really fun and colorful background. And this is what it looks like when you take that stencil off. So pretty. You could die cut this and add it to a card. You could leave it as a background and put a big bold sentiment on it. So many things you can do. It's really fun just to use these stencils to build backgrounds. Now the heart stencil I just love. I think this one is so cute, so I decided to take some pink cardstock and add a darker pink on top. You can ink blend over colored cardstock like I'm doing, and I think it really kind of saves on some ink if you want a multicolor background with one of these smaller stencils. You can just grab that color of cardstock, ink blend over it, and save yourself a little bit of time and ink by trying to ink blend the whole background. So after my hearts were ink blended, I'm coming back with my stencil. I'm just kind of shifting it to kind of fill in those gaps between the hearts, and I'm going to do another layer of hearts. This is one reason I really love this simple design of this stencil, as you can stagger it, add more hearts, and I'm using another medium. I'm not using ink, I'm using some gold glitter paste, and I'm adding glitter hearts to these pink hearts, and this is going to add some shine. It's going to make this background just really fun. And again, you could die cut this background, some big large shapes, add a big sentiment over it, perfect for Valentine's Day or just a general love card or something like that. And I just really love those gold hearts. I think this one is so cute. You could also kind of turn this and get the hearts at an angle. So there's a lot of things you can do to build up patterns with this cute little heart stencil. Hopefully you can see all of that shine from that glitter paste. So another thing that's fun to do with stencils is using them with a spray. So what I'm doing here is I'm putting a piece of dark cardstock in a cardboard box. and I am just laying my stencil right on top of my cardstock. So I'm not taping it down or anything. You can use some pixie spray or something to kind of stick it onto your cardstock. I'm not doing that today. I'm just laying it on top of my cardstock. I'm coming in with some sparkle spray from Nuvo. This is a lighter blue, but there is so much sparkle in this spray that it's really going to show up against that dark background. So once I've got that done, I'm going to peel my stencil off, and you can see what a beautiful background that is. Now I'm going to go ahead and dry it in the box before I pick it up, and that way I'll kind of cut down on any mess, and I'm just going to take my stencil right to the sink and wash it off. These stencils are very easy to wash off. If you just go to your sink, wash them with a little bit of warm water and some gentle soap, and they usually come clean really easily. If you find you need to scrub off a little bit of ink or something, you can always use a stamp cleaner, but even if they stain, which mine haven't yet, they're still good to use. It's kind of like when you have stamps that are stained, it just shows that they're well loved and they're doing their job. So I'm not worried with staining on my stencils or anything, but if you take them and wash them up right away, it's usually not a problem. So here's the Herringbone Stencil. I wanted to show you that you don't have to stencil the whole background, you can do portions of it. So this one I'm just coming in with some ink blending off to the side, starting with a lighter green, and then once I have this lighter green on, I'm coming in with a darker green, and I'm trying to open it with one hand because I have a bad habit of not taping down my stencils. It's always a good idea to tape them down so they don't shift on you, but I get a little lazy sometimes. I like to try to rush my projects because I'm usually short on time, so I don't always take the time to tape them down, and I usually just try to hold them with my hand. So for best results, tape them down or use a pixie spray or something like that. So here's that Herringbone stencil. It's only got ink on one side. I think this is really pretty, and I would love to layer up some flowers over that inked side. I think that would look really fun. Now I'm going to be taking this Honeycomb Stencil, and I'm doing a technique that's a little bit unique, a little bit experimental for me. I haven't done this before, but I wanted to try it, and I thought I'd show it to you guys just to give you ideas of how to kind of think out of the box when you're using stencils and different materials. So I'm adding some of this Scrapbook.com double-sided adhesive to a cardstock card front, and I'm just rubbing it down, making sure it sticks, and then I'm going to trim the extra double-sided adhesive sheet off so I can use that for another project. And so I have some adhesive stuck to one side of my card stock, my card front. So I'm going to stick this down onto my glass mat. I have a little bit of that sticky adhesive around the outside, so I can stick that down, peel off that top layer, and now I have all of that double-sided adhesive exposed, and I can stick my stencil on top of that. So now what I can do is add glitter, or what I'm going to do is gilding flakes. So these are Nuvo gilding flakes. They're super easy to use. You just grab a few of those flakes, add them to some kind of adhesive that's going to help them stick down to your project. So this is perfect with that double-sided adhesive, and I thought I was going to try this through the stencil, which it worked. It's really fun to do, really easy, just rubbing it into your double-sided adhesive. The only thing I didn't think of until after I did this was once you pull the stencil off, you have still some of that sticky adhesive exposed where the stencil was. Now that's probably common sense, but I didn't think about it until after I got done doing this. So one way I tried to kind of get around that little snafu was I dumped some glitter over it, and I just rubbed that glitter into those areas where that stencil was, and so I got sort of a gilded and glittered background. Now, like I said, this was kind of experimental. I've never tried this before. I do like how it turned out, but it's a messier kind of application to do with the stencils, so it's fun to play around with, but if you don't like messy crafting, maybe this isn't the technique for you. But if you do want to go ahead and do gilding flakes through a stencil, another way you could do it is take some liquid glue, add it to your stencil, pull the stencil off and let that glue dry just a little bit so it's tacky. Don't let it dry all the way, and then once it's tacky you can add your gilding flakes gently on top of that glue. So you can use stencil with liquid glue as well. I didn't show you that in this technique. I'm showing you my messy sort of experimental double-sided adhesive, gilding, and glittered background. So once I had that glitter on there, I took a brush, just brushed off the excess, and I have that gilded honeycomb with glitter in between. So it does actually look really, really cool. I like how it turned out. But like I said, first time I ever did this, and I don't know, maybe if it gives you some ideas, you can try some new things on your own as well. So there is that super shiny and messy background. And so the next thing I want to do is just show you a few more ideas of what you can do with stencils. I'm taking this tree stencil, which I think is so super cute. One of my favorites right now. And I'm going to be adding some more glitter paste over that and some Glacier Paste. So the glitter paste has that big chunky glitter in it. And the Glacier Paste is more of a sheen. It's got more of that fine mica shimmer to it. So you can add them both the same way. Just take a little media spatula, add it to your cardstock over that stencil, and it's going to end up being a really fun background. I love gold and navy, so I chose like a dark blue cardstock, and I think it looks really great together. Once you have all of your glitter paste on, you can just kind of scrape up that extra with your media spatula, put it back into your jar, and save it for another project. And then, like I mentioned before, I like to take my stencil and my spatula right to the sink, wash it off so that I can use it again later and that glitter won't dry on there. But like you can see, I absolutely love this tree stencil. I think it's my favorite one, maybe along with the hearts. I think it's fun to kind of layer up with this gold, even some ink. I could see this with a buffalo check background, pattern paper or something. I think that would be super cute. So that was the glitter paste, and now I'm going to show you the Glacier Paste. Now they're both gold. Like I said, they're a little bit different. You've got that chunky glitter from the glitter paste, and this Glacier Paste is a little bit smoother, and it's got more of a shimmer than that chunky glitter. So you just apply it the same way you would the glitter paste. Just add it over your stencil. Be careful, try to get all those nooks and crannies with your spatula, and then once it's completely applied, pull it off, wash it in your sink, and you're good to go. I love both of these mediums. I love the gold and navy. I think they both look great, and I just wanted to show you how they kind of differ in their looks from that Glacier Paste and that glitter paste. But they give you similar results, but there are different things you can do with the Glacier Paste, and I'll probably be doing a video on those sometime in the near future, so stay tuned for that. So I wanted to make these card bases, these backgrounds, into actual cards. So I'm taking some sentiments from a Scrapbook.com Christmas sentiment stamp set, and I will have that linked below. I'll also have all of the other products linked below that I'm using in this video, so check that out if you're interested. I'm just going to go ahead and stamp these out with my Misty using some Versamark embossing ink. Just a clear sticky ink that you can then pour your embossing powder over and heat up and melt so that you get an embossed sentiment. So I'm just stamping out that ink, making sure I have it stamped well with my Misty so that I can get a good, precise stamped image, stamped sentiment. Then I'm using some Nuvo gold embossing powder. You just go ahead and pour that right over your sticky ink, tap off any of that extra powder. If you get any clinging where it's not supposed to go, you can always grab a dry paintbrush or something, brush it away, and then you heat it with your heat tool and you have a embossed. So I took this sentiment, I went ahead and I trimmed it down, and I'm going to add it to my card background with a few Christmas die cuts. So I'm using some Scrapbook.com foam shapes. They've got these tiny little circle ones, bigger circles. They've got tiny squares and bigger squares, lots of different shapes and sizes. They have a lot of foam adhesive, a lot of exclusive different sizes of foam adhesive for all your paper crafting needs. But these are the ones I'm showing you today, so I'll have those linked below. But if you want to see the other foam adhesive from Scrapbook.com, just take a look around on their website and you'll find those. So I'm adding the sentiment under this tree with some more foam adhesive, and that kind of finishes my card. I kept it really simple because I had a lot going on that background. But I hope that this video and blog post shows you a few fun things that you can do with these Scrapbook.com stencils. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them down below. Otherwise, don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you liked this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Comment, share, just do all the things. I'll catch you guys next time and have a great day. Bye!